Excuse me. Hey, folks, it's Brian with another session recap of my RQG game. The campaign is Stranger in a Strange Land, and the chapter is 4, The Waters Rising. As you can tell by the clock here, it's 12:30. We just got done. This was a wild session. When we left the party, they were in the middle of a combat in a barracks room in this submerged fortress. And I had been thinking over the previous couple of weeks on, okay, now, there's actually a group of guards who are supposed to be in that tower. Now, the scenario I stole this from has them down at the bottom going, and as I'm thinking, I go, there's no way. They're in the middle of a swamp, and there are monsters in the swamp. They're not going to just leave the entrance to their fortress unguarded. The guards should be up at the top. They should have an eye out, somebody out watching the water all the time. Specifically looking for the cultists to come from Marsh Edge, because that's not on a schedule. They show up when they show up, and so keep an eye out for those guys and keep an eye out for all the monsters in the marsh. I mean, there are undead armies out here, undead dinosaurs, zombie triceratopses in the marsh, dream dragons, Delecti's lieutenants, the dancers in the darkness, and just normal swamp stuff out there too, right? Crocodiles, alligators, giant-sized ones, all that kind of stuff. So it made no sense that they would leave the entrance uncovered up top. And I didn't want to retcon anything, and so I said, okay, if somebody had to come down, to go to the bathroom or whatever, it's the swamp, just go out there, right? Maybe something happened. So they were down at the bottom when the guys got here. The troll fell through a couple of rotten steps up in the tower, and one of them heard that. I actually made rolls to see if there was, somebody heard, listen rolls for that, and the guards made it. So they know something's going on up there. So I'm trying to track out, post-event stuff. The party's up here doing this stuff, then they go around, guards come up, what's going on, look around, they see what's happening. I mean, they're going to see what's, there's a party of people out here walking around. So they're going to set something up. But they probably, based on all the timing of stuff, either would attack the party up on top of the dike, or would be ambushing the party coming down the hallway. So what I decided to do was, the guards saw the party when they were looking out over one of the buildings. And so they go back down, figuring the party's going to go down, because there's a door on that side of the fortress as well. And they set up an ambush on that side. Party doesn't come through. They eventually hear noises down the other hallway, so they're coming around. So, statements of intent. Party doing their combat in the room. There's only 2 guys left. And then there's the guys in the hallway. So the guys in the hallway, hey, you can see light at the far end of the hallway. It's coming around the corner. A couple of people with shields, at least, coming down. And they're not running. They're moving down. Kind of marching. And the rest of the party inside the room kills the last 2 guys. And come out. Voskandor was at the door. He says, hey, trouble coming down the hallway. So everybody's coming out into the hallway. They're trying to figure out how they're going to set up on doing things. Angrelar is kneeling down behind his shield. So, Arestra grabs a bow and some arrows from the barracks room, and she's going to, shoot over him. No problem there. At people at the far end coming down. Voskandor moves up, so he's next to Angrelar, so they, shield wall kind of thing there. And The trolls are kind of still watching the back end, as is David. David comes out. There's not really much he can do either. So, whoever's coming down is coming down at a steady pace. A wrestler gets a shot off. Wasn't an impale, but it was a lot of damage into the leg of one of those people, so that person goes down. They maneuver around, so there's still two people in front, somebody in the back with the lantern. There's actually four of them, so now there's three. The person got hit in the leg, scoots over to the side of the wall, shimmies up the wall so they can lean in against it, get their bow and arrows out. So they're there in case they can get a shot off on. If they break through, she'll be able to do something, right? Or he'll be able to do something. I say she because one of the rooms is specifically all female. Because there's actually four barracks rooms for guards. 4 guards per barracks room. One had just gotten off of shift. One is going to be getting on shift soon, so they're up, armored, ready to go. They're just kind of, sharpening weapons and that kind of thing. One group is out on guard duty, and then there's a group that's asleep. So when the group comes around that's on guard duty, obviously there's somebody down there coming around, so they start shouting out an alarm and mention a few things about we won't let you hurt her, that kind of stuff, this whole mistress thing again, right? So they're marching down. The group that's awake, it's going to take them a melee round before they pop out. And they pop out just in front of this group that's marching down the hallway. So we now have 2 groups of guards coming down the hallway. The one barracks room that has folks that are asleep, and 3 melee rounds, they'll be up. They're not going to armor up. They're just going to grab spear and shield and come on out, see what's going on. Arestra changes weapons, axe and shield. They move forward some. Oh, she did an intimidation roll, and intimidation's an opposed roll. Specifically, the rules talks about against intimidation, but these people all have, the love, passion for the mistress, right? So I used that, and 3 of the 4 in front missed their passion roll, so they stop. Delays things by a melee round kind of thing. But there's some kind of effect, and that's what got me thinking. These guys should be inspiring themselves with their passion, right? And so I started rolling for folks as they came involved with stuff happening. And I think it was about 50-50 on making it versus not making it, but I had at least 2 people get special successes. So they're, plus 30 with their spear kind of thing. The guys in the hallway would have prepped up magic, but again, none of these guys have rune magic. And a bunch of them don't have any spirit magic at all either. They must be pretty young. But some of them have some decent magic. There's somebody with Shimmer 3, a bunch of Protection 2s, one guy with Protection 5. I actually should have probably messed with that and turned it down to a 3, just because of, 1, 2, 2s are easy to get. 3s not too hard. 4s are hard. 5s are really hard, and then even harder beyond that point. But because I'm using these, spreadsheets with, random die rolls and stuff, it's kind of hard to map that out, kind of thing. So anyway, it is what it is. A couple with disruption. In fact, one of them threw disruption at a Arrestra when they got in closer, but Arrestra made her saving throw. And so the party moves up as these people are coming down. Group right behind them. A bunch of combat going on. People going down. A bunch of leg shots. A couple of arm shots. Oh, there was this one cool spot where a wrestler had called back for somebody to get a bow and some arrows. So Davin's back there. So he goes in the room, grabs a bow and a sheaf of arrows, comes out and comes running up. Who wants this? But at that point, everybody's standing up. So he, hooks the stuff on his belt kind of thing, pulls out his sling and says, "Down in front." And so, they drop down. Supatai's got a bow and arrow. I think he fires this round as well. But Lars lets loose with his sling. And folks have been. These hallways are 2 hexes wide. And the guy in front makes his dodge. So Lars asks legitimately, what about the guy behind him? So I had him do another 2-hit roll to see if he hit the guy behind him. End up getting a special. The guy misses his dodge, got hit in the head. Did a significant amount of damage. Not enough to kill outright or die in so many rounds, but puts his head at negative hit points, so he goes down. Everybody's got spears on the defense side, and they're angling up so that you got a guy in front, spear and shield, right? The guy behind him, overhead 2-handed spear. Somebody to the side, coming spear. So a wrestler was getting attacked 3 times a melee round for a couple melee rounds. But then they started doing some shifting because people went down and that kind of thing to help cut that back. Plus they brought up Angrilar came up, asked Subutai to bring up the spear. Subutai had run into the room, got a spear kind of thing. And so he's using his spear, cross angle between the two. Standard, shield wall with spear between, right? So he did that. Got an impale on a leg. Wasn't able to make his retrieval roll, so that person went down, spear out of his hands. While some of this is going on, Angrilar earlier on had tried to open up a door that was behind them. It's locked. So they call the trolls up to bust through. Well, this is the room where the guys in 3 melee rounds were coming out. And it was the 3rd melee round when the troll goes to bust the door open. Is able to do that. But there's these 4 guys in there, spears and shields ready to come out. So there's this mass combat right there. She steps in, her brother steps in behind her to the one side, and they're engaging. Davin steps in, squeezes behind one of the trolls, so there's 3 against 4 kind of thing. And more spear attacks. Well, it turns out the troll got hit twice. First time was an impale. It was one of the guys in back, overhand kind of thing. Got her in the arm with an impale. And even with her, significant armor, put her arm down max negative. She had 4 hit points, went to -8, something like that. So, 4 hit points to -4, total of 8 points off of her hit points, which dropped her down significantly. And later on, got speared. She fumbled her parry. Triple lot. It happens. So that spear attack did double damage, which was like, after all the armor and stuff, took a leg to double negative. That actually put her hit points to -6 total overall. So she's down hard. And her brother starts to freak. He changes his intent, steps behind her, and he grabs her, and that's where that round ended. He's going to drag her out the next round. There was also a fumble on the fortress defensive side, so I had to actually retcon that. The girl had hurt, so she was dragging herself out of the way. So okay, no, it would have been double damage on her. She's dead. Take her out. Um, and then the very last roll of the night, uh, David gets hit with a spear, misses his parry, did almost max damage to his chest. So his chest is negative. He goes down. He's unconscious, bleeding out. Complete transition of things. The party was tromping through all these guards. I mean, we're down to there are 3 in this room, and there is 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 out of 8 in the hallway that are left, usable. I did start to roll to see if they're going to flee. The folks who are uh, impassioned, I'm not rolling for them, but the guys who missed, hey, we're down by half, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's go reform somewhere else, or go get help or something, right? But then the troll went down, and David went down, and the troll's brother's pulling out of the fight to take care of her. There were a bunch of crits that went flying around, or a bunch of specials, handful of crits, a bunch of specials, but then special defenses hitting against them, so all mails out. We did have 2 shields get cleaved. Both were on the fortress defense side, so it is what it is. Happy gaming.